Hello game design students. Welcome back to my little video series here of how to make the 2D platformer game. In our last video, we talked about creating events. Okay, and we went through all of this to create a few events. The first one just aligned our player sprite with our player box. And the other two just helped us to set up some animations, make sure we were mirrored and not mirrored when we were playing. So if I start up my game here, you can see this. And as I move to the right and move to the left, you'll notice that my sprite will face the way I'm going based on those events. And I can jump around and move. Okay. In this video, we're going to add some more events to make it so that our sprite here, our player animation, will do some different movements when he jumps and falls and does all sorts of things, just to make it a little more realistic, right? To give it a little more detail. So I'm actually going to go to page 7 here on the tutorial. So it's all about adding more animations. So if you're not to this page, I would go to this page. You can have it open up and go through it here with me. So we're going to get the rest of the player's animations added. Okay. It says to give us and our player a better view, let's also make the window size a bit bigger. Click the name of the project bar to show the project's properties. So it should already be here, right? Those are layer properties. I'm going to go to layout. I believe. And get my project. Where is it? Platformer. There it is. So I gotta click. If I click platformer in the top right, it'll get me there. And it wants me to change my viewport size to 1280 by 720. And by default right now it's at 1920 by 1080. So we're gonna go 1280 by 720. And this is just changing the resolution of our viewport. Okay. 1080 by 1920 is what we call HD. And then 720 is standard definition. 4K is another resolution you might hear. That's a pretty common one nowadays. But we're just going to turn it down a little ways just to make it easier to see. It actually just kind of zooms everything in on our viewport, which is nice. And you'll notice here when I start this up, you might not notice the difference, but it's actually just a little more zoomed in. So you can see there's just a little more to see, which is cool. Yeah. Let's see here. Next thing I want to do is I want to add a jump animation. Okay, so we are actually going to double click my animation guy here, and we need to add in a new animation. So put your mouse here in this animations panel where there's nothing and click add animation. I'm going to rename it right away to jump. Okay, which is great. We're going to open up some stuff here, and I need to open up my constructs projects in PNG and players. I obviously did the red player, but you can pick whichever color you want. And we're going to go red up 1, 2, and 3, I believe. Now, let me confirm that here. Yeah, these guys did blue on the tutorial, but we're going to do red or whatever you picked. Remember, I want to set my origin point to the bottom, and then I also want to apply to the whole animation. I want all of my animations, the origin point needs to be at the bottom. And what that does is it makes sure that my guy doesn't fall through the floor when I'm running these animations. It lines it up with my box and all those kind of things. So I can go ahead and I can preview this now, and you can see he kind of does this little jumping sort of animation, which is cool. Okay. We don't need to make the animation loop. We can just leave it as is. Next, let's add a fall animation. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to right click in this empty space here, add animation, rename it to fall, and we're going to load up, this time, red fall, right here. Player red fall or blue fall or gray or whatever color you chose. Mine's player red. I'm going to open it up. Once again, set my origin point to the bottom, right there, bottom middle. Awesome, easy money, that's all good. Okay, so now we have these 4 animations, walk, idle, jump, fall. We are going to set up the animation events. Now, we've created some events before in the previous video, but we'll go through it again just so you remember how. We go to our event sheet, select the object, select the condition, and then enter some of the parameters. Okay. So let's go here. We can actually close this out and we can go to our event sheet. Now we want to add an event, and because our player has or our player box, which we can click here, has a behavior called platform, we can actually mess with that. So we're going to add an event. We're going to actually choose our player box, and we're going to scroll down until we find the platform thing here. Okay, so if platform is moving. Next, okay, so if our player box is moving, we want to set our sprite animation, set animation to walk. And you notice I have to do this little quotation marks, and I can start to type in walk, and there it is. It has all my animations available, but I want it to be walk. So let me show you what this means. When our player box is moving, we want our player sprite to show the walking animation. Let's add another event. When our player box, and go down to platform, is stopped, on stopped, I believe. Oh, actually, I might have done this wrong. Let's go on stopped. We're going to test this out because I may have done it wrong, which is okay. It's okay to make mistakes. But if it's stopped, we want to set our animation to idle, right? Idle or stand, right? So we know it's not moving. So let's open this up. Let's test our game. So when I'm not moving, okay, it's obviously bugged out. It's not working. Okay, so I need to change this condition. This is moving. And I need to do it on moved. That's probably what it is. Okay, let's open it up now. Oh, there we go. Okay. So you see when I'm just standing there, when I'm not moving, he's totally still facing the front, kind of a creepy looking eye. And as I move left and as I move right, he'll walk. And as soon as I stop, he stops. Pretty interesting. Okay. What I probably need to do is set my default animation to idle. That's probably what I need, is to put my idle animation at the very top. I think that will make it so when I start my game, yeah, it's not working. Huh. That's weird. That is weird. I actually don't know why it's doing that. But I guess it doesn't matter too much. Not really a big deal. So we've done a couple of events of when we're moving and when we're stopped. We want to walk and we want to stop walking. Okay, stop our animation. We're going to do the same thing again on our player box. Okay. When it jumps, on jump, we want to play our jump animation. So we set our animation to jump. Done. And we want to add another event on our player box on fall. We want to set our action to, or set our animation to fall. And there's one more I want to add here, and it is when our player box lands on landed, we want to reset our animation to idle. Okay. Now what this does, okay, is whenever we're moving, it's going to show our walk animation. Whenever we're not moving, it's going to show our idle animation. Whenever we jump, it's going to show that jump animation. And whenever we're falling, it's going to show the falling animation. However, whenever we land, it's going to show the idle animation. Okay? To make sure that when we land, it doesn't stay showing the landing animation. So let's test our game out and see if it looks smooth. So here we go. Here's my guy. I can walk. When I jump, he does a little jumping animation, his falling animation. Look at that. So I can jump around with all these beautiful little animations. Doesn't it look so nice? Wow, isn't that crazy? So I'm jumping around. I've added all my extra animations. And I've programmed in some events to make sure that it's moving correctly. Now, if you were having trouble finding these platform things in here, let me show you where they are. Okay. It's all here on platform, and you actually want to use platform animation triggers for this one. Okay. Make sure that the platform animation triggers are enabled here and you can use them. Okay. So on fall, on land, on stop, on jump, on moved, we're going to use one of each of them to program our different animations there. Okay. And you can see here when I open my player sprite, I use every single one. Idle, walk, jump, fall. They're all there. They're all available for me. Okay. I believe that's all this section has you do. That's what all of this is just walking you through that same thing I just did, but just having you go step by step. Okay. And then at the end, it wants us to actually lock the player layer. So if we come here to player layer, we can lock that up, and now everything is pretty much saved how it should be, which is great. Okay. In the next video, I'm going to continue on to page 8, and that is all about adding enemies. Okay, some sort of obstacle or enemy to your game. Okay, at that point, adding the enemy, that's all we really need to add, and then it's ready to turn in for our purposes. I'll probably do one more video of adding pickups just so you can see what that's like. If you'd like to add that kind of thing to your game, it can be a cool little bonus and give you some sort of an objective. But that's where we're at for right now. If you have any questions, you can email me or rewatch the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.